Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. So I hope you are all doing well and I hope you're all healthy and you're all staying safe. So in today's video, I am going to be reviewing a book, but before that I would like to say that I make a lot of bookish content on this channel. So if you are a book lover and a reader, then you should definitely subscribe to Saumya'sbookstation and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. If you like this review, please give it a like and also leave a comment. And finally, if you want to follow me on my Instagram for some bookish as well as non-bookish updates, then my handle is @thatdesibooklover. So as I had said before, in today's video I will be reviewing a book which was sent to me by the author, and that book is Scarlett Lost in the Five Lands by Rajendra Sarilla. As you can see, I have this in my Kindle because right now due to the lockdown the paperbacks are not available. The paperbacks will be made available when Amazon starts delivery. Scarlett Lost in the Five Lands is a story about a girl named Scarlett, as is obvious from the title of the book. So the genre of this book is young adult fantasy fiction because Scarlett, the protagonist, is a 15-year-old girl. Scarlett is a warrior princess and her parents, King Xavier and Queen Adeline, are the rulers of Sky Kingdom. So the story opens with Sky Kingdom getting attacked, and basically as a result of the fight that ensues, Scarlett ends up in an unfamiliar land where she forgets about herself. She loses all her memory about who she was. Scarlett finds herself in a rather unusual situation because she finds herself surrounded by unfamiliar people, and well, people for their part also do not understand who Scarlett is, where she comes from. So it's a situation of mutual confusion. But whatever, through the turn of events in the story, Scarlett, being a teenager, ends up attending a magic school. So this is where the actual story begins. We get to meet the good characters, the bad characters. Will Scarlett ever get her memory back? And what about the constant shadow of danger that is always trailing her? Will that ever leave her? So now talking about how I liked Scarlett Lost in the Five Lands by Rajendra Sarilla. So the first thing that I would like to say is that it's a quick read. I wouldn't say super quick, but it is the kind of book that if you want, you can finish it in a single sitting. And if you do not want to finish it in a single sitting, it won't take more than 2 sittings. Scarlett Lost in the Five Lands is not the kind of book that stays racy all through the story, but it still has many racy moments. So on the whole, this is the kind of book that has a good pace. Now moving on, I would like to talk about the characters in this book. So one thing that I absolutely loved about the characters was that a lot of these characters were very powerful and strong women. 2 characters that I absolutely loved reading about were Black Viper and Mariska. These 2 badass women made the story more enjoyable for me. As a girl, I will not hold myself back from saying that whenever I read about strong badass female characters, it always makes me immensely happy. Scarlett, who's the protagonist, is a really good character herself, but apart from her, there are many other characters that are quite amazing to read about. I would also like to specifically mention Queen Callista, who is the villain in the story. She is a formidable villain and a formidable enemy. She has been made out to be intimidating and strong, and I love that. Now moving on to the world building in this book, because this is a fantasy fiction after all. I would say the world building was easy to understand and easy to grasp, and it worked well with the story. There was nothing confusing about it. It was overall very convenient as a reader for me to read it and remember stuff because nothing was too complicated about it. It did not blow my mind, but still, because of the reasons that I mentioned, it was not bad. One thing that has to be mentioned about this book is that it has a lot of fight scenes. So if you are somebody who loves reading fight scenes, then you should definitely not miss out on this one because it has quite a few, and they're also heavy with anticipation. They're not boring. But now that I'm on the topic of fight scenes, I cannot skip mentioning one thing. The book opens with a fight scene, and for me, that fight scene went on for a tad bit longer than it should have. And the reason for that is that right in the beginning of the story, I was not aware of the characters. I was not attached to any character. So basically, the fight scene in the beginning was a bit out of context for me because I was not that invested in it. As for the fight scenes that happen as the story progresses, those are way more engaging because then I was aware of the characters. I had picked my sides. The writing in the book is easy to understand and it conveys the story effortlessly and smoothly to the reader. So overall, this was an entertaining, interesting story that kept me engaged, and it was also a quick read and the bonus is that it ended on a cliffhanger, which makes me look forward to the next book that is going to follow it. And if you ask me that would I recommend this book to you, well, if you're looking for a quick fantasy read, then definitely you can go for this book. If you want to get your hands on Scarlett Lost in the Five Lands by Rajendra Sarilla, then you have to visit the Amazon site of the country that you are living in. Otherwise you will not get the purchase options. I'm going to leave the links to buy this book in the description box for a few countries so that you can check them out. So that was it for my review of Scarlett Lost in the Five Lands by Rajendra Sarilla. I hope you liked it and found it useful. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care and stay safe.